Hi, greetings, sisters. So thank you and welcome to another session of our Divine Cuppa. It's been one of those weeks for me, so I love being in this space with you because it gives me a chance to kind of reflect and listen to different perspectives and helps me to think about the world in a different way. So I will introduce myself for anyone who's just tuning in for the first time. My name is Vanessa and I'm a lifestyle coach, and I support women to help you help yourself to feel more confident. So I'll go to my sister Deniz, who I can see looking all nice and brown because she's in a nice sunny place at the moment.
Hi, Vanessa. Hi, I'm Deniz Mustard, emotional fitness coach, and I help women let go of their emotional pain and suffering and help them step into their power.
Fantastic. And Suzie, hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Suzie. I'm emotional wellbeing coach and author of You Are Enough.
Wow. Okay, so we've just had a quick chat behind the scenes and we've decided that today we are going to talk about communication. So this is communication verbally and what we'd say non-verbally as well. So we've got a few things that we want to talk to you about. Before we go into it, just to let you know that behind the scenes, we've opened with Psalms 121. Now for me, remember, I'm still fasting. Okay, so the prayers yesterday, I will admit, I didn't really pray, but doing the Psalms today was really important for me because I've been out in nature this morning. I've done the Psalms here. I'm now here with you, having this wonderful conversation, and I've got the cards. So, I'd like to tune in and bring the angels into our conversation because, what we're going to talk about today, particularly from my perspective, learning about Gematria, which is apparently how God communicates to us through numbers. Then obviously getting the signs and the messages from the angels is also a way of getting communication from non-physical beings as well. So before I bring in the angels, is there anything that you wanted to say about this conversation, Deniz and Suzie, when we're just touching on that word communication? What does that mean to you?
Well, recently I was watching something and they said that as we start to ascend, the form of communication will be mind reading, and the ego does all the talking. And I know that I've experienced this with my husband, where we won't say anything, and then he will ask a question I'll have already thought about, and that was already in his head. So we're already communicating non-verbally. And before, we were like, oh my God, we're so aligned. It's so but now it's actually, not even realizing that we're like in each other's head without. And I guess when we do the coaching the sisters, when we do the one-to-ones, that's a lot of it is non-verbal, is just feeling the energies, and by feeling the energies you comprehend what that energy means. Maybe not 100%, but you get the gist of it, and that would resonate with somebody else, and well, the person that you're doing it with, and that opens up that awareness. So yeah, there's so many ways to communicate that is not like mainstream.
Suzie, what does it mean to you, my dear?
I think if you think about what's happening around the world and what's happening at the minute, again, chaos, confusion, all about control, feeling safe. There's a lot of people that aren't feeling heard at the minute. And I want to just give out a message that if you're not being heard, don't take it personal, because people are at different stages in their lives. Some people are never going to listen, but don't get hard on yourself. Just let it go, because that's what's happening. I think we know of this anyway, but I think it's becoming more apparent, more certain that this is what's happening.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's actually triggered something in me. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to invite the angels to be with us here on this session, and I'm asking for the messages that come through to be for the highest good for those who need to hear this message today. So let's have a look what we've got. Okay, so we've got prosperities come through for the first one, overcoming difficulties, and also beloved one, which is interesting because Archangel Jeremiah, which is which is shown up here for overcoming difficulties, did pop out. He did jump out on another card, which was peace, and I really should have pulled the card, but I carried on shuffling. So Archangel Jeremiah was like, no, I have a message for you today. You're going to hear it. We have had beloved one before on the in fact, I think this is the third time. Oh my gosh. Okay, something's going off there. So let me just pull up my book. Yeah, what you triggered in me, Suzie, was about the signs that are up in certain buildings. Cover your face with a mask, stand 2 meters apart, and all this business, where it's like some people aren't feeling heard. So for me, I'm sorry, I don't even look on those signs, and I'm going to start putting stickers all over them anyway soon to counteract that communication and that narrative, because for me that message is helping to, how would you say, perpetuate the fear. Even today on my walk this morning, Ria and myself have literally just come out of the beautiful woods, the beautiful energy from the woods. We've come back onto the street and we've walked past a woman who's got a mask on her face. Okay, it did look like she was going to the bus stop, but you know, Ria was like, oh, why is she wearing a mask? And I was like, you know, some people at the moment, they're still trapped by different, what we'd say, communication messages that are going out to them. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. There was nobody literally around. So, you know, why would you feel that you need to do that? But hey.
But as I find that in itself, that communication is almost misleading as well, because we believe that we're like the minority, but are we the minority? That's how, because of the communication, we feel like we are. But I heard yesterday that globally, do you know how many people have been juiced up?
No.
24%. We're the majority.
That's really low. That's great.
And the guy that was saying it, he said 3 weeks ago it was 18%. So he was like, have they really managed to get 6% increase in 3 weeks? I don't think so. So this is all just, you know, perception versus reality, right? It's a belief.
I think if you go back to what you said, Deniz, not everything's been printed as truth. I mean, at the minute, it's all COVID, but all the negative about it, all the, you know, we're doing this, we're doing that, but nothing else is being fed back. And it's not true figures. If you really look into it and you question things, it's not what it is. I mean, I'm still quite surprised when I'm walking, I see some masks on their car, and I think, really, even now, but we don't know what they're walking. Like you said, they're very stuck in their own bubble of their world.
So, I mean, and I just see this whole thing as what needs to happen is going to happen to obviously wake people up in their own timing, right? They've all set their own alarm clock to wake up. But it does feel like the energy is completely shifted for that particular thing. Although, like, it does feel, obviously Australia and all that are a little bit behind, but maybe they're waking up more. I don't know. It's just, I know a lot of people who believe in it and are in Australia. But it now feels like, just as we're in this conversation, it feels like because they're losing their grip, more stuff is going to happen in the way of trying to gain back their grip. So the fear is not necessarily working. People are doing things out of habit. People are doing things because they're now conditioned, but doesn't mean they believe it. Doesn't mean they think it's right. You know, we're talking about in September, more people getting jabbed up, juiced up, whatever. And are they going to do it? I don't think so. People who have done it to get their freedom back realize that was all a lie. So like slowly, catchy monkey, as they say, the way that they're thinking and the communication to them is going to be resonating with them in a completely different way. And also because the energies have been, you know, we've talked about the Lionsgate energy, and all of these are massively shifting. We've got a new moon coming up tonight, which is it's like blue moon, sturgeon moon or something, which is all about representing yourself, like coming back to your authentic self. So, which is really important, given our new workshop is coming up.
I was going to say, you read my mind then. Wow.
So yeah, this is all about finding your inner peace, inner self. But I have heard that through one of the other sisters, that one of her friends who is psychic said that there's going to be a world war. My auntie, she's an astrologer, and
your internet went a bit then.
Oh, right on the pivotal point. She said there was going to be a world war, this lady, and then my auntie had said that as well. It apparently is in the astrological charts that there's going to be a world war. So I feel like as the C bomb is dropping, something else might be rising, right? To wake people up to stand in their power, whatever may be. Like, nothing's set in stone. Timelines can change.
In terms of the war, though, we are in that spiritual battle anyway now.
But in a physical 3D sense.
Okay.
With the I don't know really what I don't really believe everything I read now, so or read at all. But in Turkey, there's a lot of
that's a distraction again. We spoke
about the Afghan, yeah. But what I was going to say was that's what I thought it might be. 100%. But at the same time, they're really talking about war over here. So are they trying to start something, and that's going to cause a cataclysm of like events? Who knows?
Okay. Well, just before we lose that essence of how Deniz brought us into that lovely opportunity to tell our viewers about our next workshop coming up, I'm just going to blow this up. Can you see it? Does this look good for you?
Oh, you changed the picture. That looks good, actually.
Oh, do you know what? It was just, again, divine inspiration came through on Friday, based on what you asked for in terms of the rewording. Sent that to Kay, and she was online. She did like literally immediately. And then I said to her, Kay, can I just see the other options that you had for the images? And she sent through this one, and I said, do you mind just setting the text to that image, because there's something about that one. She put it on and she was like, Vanessa, it works so perfectly, and I'm just really resonating with that. This is a woman who's standing in her power. This is a woman who's been on that journey with us. She knows where she's going, and she is creating her own world, and nothing is stopping her. So as we've got your attention, audience, we just really now want to tell you about the next workshop. It's called How to Represent Yourself. It's about exploring the options. And yes, if you haven't seen our first two workshops, then get in contact with us and we can make sure you can have access to that information. Workshop 3 will help you to explore your options on how to protect your sovereignty and learn about different remedies so you can raise your awareness and confidence, and you will gain clarity because we've got some fantastic case studies coming through by our guest contributors who will give you so many stories and tell you so many different examples of things you can start to do. So absolutely so excited about that. Really, really am. But yeah, so let's have a look now. I just want to bring in the Gematria. Are you aware of this tool? God's language. God speaks to us in numbers. Have you ever heard of this? I mean, I've heard of it in terms of the angel numbers.
Say that again. What are you calling it?
It's called Gematria.
I thought you were saying Jumanji.
No.
I've not heard that.
No, okay. So God speaks to us in numbers, and it's based on saying that the English alphabet's really interesting. There's a Jewish Gematria, but the simple Gematria is based on the English. So basically the letter A is 1, and the letter Z will be 26. So every single letter in the alphabet will have a number. So you can see here, the example is P equals 16, R is 18, O is 15,
Can't see
etc.
anything.
Can you not see this screen?
No, I just
Oh, the
it's still on
screen
the
Oh, it's still on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back because it'll be important for you to see. Can you see it now?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's just
Oh
an
yes, I've
example.
heard of something like this. And then the way that the communication in like artifacts and things like that about the sun and
I want to give you an example because
Yeah.
honestly, you can't make this up. When I did my name,
yeah.
I was like, this is like weird. What's happening? So my name in simple gematria is 81. But if you add those two numbers together, you're going to get 9. Okay, so you're not going to get any other higher number than 9, because obviously once you go into the 2 decimals, then actually you're in decimal numbers. So I was like, wow, that's really interesting. My number's like 9. Woohoo. So if anybody knows anything about Tesla encourages to think of the numbers 3, 6, and 9. So that was interesting. So then you'll scroll down here on the simple gematria and you'll look at the meanings. Now, obviously you can see here that there are phrases that are not necessarily that like what you would say holy or good. And that's just because you're going to have people who are thinking in a different way who are running these searches as well. But for my name here, which was Vanessa, I've got here, God is real. That's lovely. Well, I already knew that, but it was nice for that confirmation.
Never.
We've got, what's another positive here? We've got source, we've got awesome, we've got beginning, incredible. What else? Telegram. That's quite fitting since most of my time is spent on Telegram. So all it is people have looked at these words, and these words also equate to 81. So that's what it's telling you here. But then I love this one, Vibrate Higher. Now, remember, if anybody's been following this journey, Vibrate Higher, I believe, has been divinely guided. It's like the only event, project, whatever that I've ever worked on where I know that source energy has been there every single step of the way. So when you look at the word Vibrate Higher, the number is 132. Okay, so that's our number. Now I did break this up separately when I did another search. I'm just going to break it up separately first, because I do believe that they came to 9 or something came to 9. I went through this with you, didn't I, Susie, on Tuesday?
Yeah,
okay, so that was 77 on that one. Now, was it higher? It's just that when you looked at the words, it was very interesting. 55. Maybe it was on the other calculator because there's 2. But let's just go back to the full word, Vibrate Higher. And remember, this is how God's communicating. So what language is coming up? So we've got the living God, God blessing. We've got light of heaven, 132. So remember, these are all words that people have put in and they've got the same number, 132. We've got astrology, God prophecy, JFK Jr. is alive. We've got the Most High.
That's so random.
Yeah, we've got there's no coincidences. We've got sweet dreams. We've got heaven in love, God in flesh, predictions. I can talk to God. So basically, anybody who's viewing this channel, okay, and you're hanging around with us, Vibrate Higher, then this it's a very it's called divine Cuppa. Basically, God is with us. God is basically guiding us through. So I love this. I love this.
I love this as well.
I just did your name.
Yeah, I just did my name and it came up. God-born person, the Lord in the flesh, trump card.
Yes.
Super cool. Nothing is random. But also Anderson Cooper.
Okay, so your number's 58. Okay, so let's do the 5 add the 8 is the 13. So do 1 add 3 is 4. Okay, now you can also look at, if you want to look at numbers, you would actually spell the word 4.
Right.
Okay, so by spelling the word 4 is 60, which is 6. So then I would just keep breaking it down. You know, I'm just looking into it this week, so I'm not an expert at all. I'm just learning how it works. Oh gosh.
So you're supposed to keep breaking it down.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, they just say it's about your flow. It's about your flow. I was just curious because you got such a high number. So let's go back to your name. Now, for those of you who are listening, certain, what we'd say, people in the world right now, such as the former president of the United States for America, not of America, actually speaks in code. And the alphabet, the number 17 in the alphabet, where people have been getting messages from, that's written in code as well. And people are using this calculator to break the code and to really kind of get an appreciation of what's being said. So let's have a look at the word, or the name, sorry, Deniz. So simple gematria. Did you go down to simple, Deniz?
No, I didn't, sorry.
Did you go to the Hebrew?
I just scrolled the first bit and then I was just listening to you.
Oh yeah, you were on the Hebrew here. So the Lord in the flesh, yeah. Now I need to get an appreciation of why they don't use the Hebrew. They've just said go to the simple, go down to the simple one. But we've got Nasara. We've got Facebook, which I know Deniz likes to be on Facebook.
Look at Lady Gaga.
I'm Lady Gaga. I'm the he, she.
We've got, but we are looking for, you'd look at the positive words. So you've got angels, indigo, God's ID, that's positive. So you've got quite a few names on that one. You've got quite a few names, but you could do your full name as well. So people do that. I can't see now. But you know, in a sense, it's a bit of fun, but it's also, I've started to decode my first message. Oh my gosh, the message is so long and it's got numbers in. I'll read it out to you in a bit what I've been getting. So so on your full name, look for God here. The code to find God, only God aligns. The Lord himself, God is with us. God the Almighty. So I think on some names you probably need to put them together as well. It's just about having a play. Did you want us to do yours, Suzie?
We did the number, and I think we got to number 8, but we didn't see the words. So Suzie would be.
Yeah, and do you know why, Suzie? It's because I was on the other website.
Yeah.
So what I can hear in the group, they recommend, a lot of them who do the decoding, they use this website. So look, so let's just go back to that number. Your number was 8, Suzie, because you had 80. So your pure number is 8. Okay, now you know that symbol.
Yeah.
So 8, that's a fantastic number. All right, so I'm going down to the simple. God is okay. But remember, that's a phrase somebody put into the computer and they got 80.
Pfizer.
Pfizer. Let's have a look here. Creator. Psalms. Miracles. Sun God, the cure. Baptism. Name of God. Love God. So you look for the positive, because like I said, the ones that people have put in, that was just people messing about. So it's just a bit of fun. You can literally use this if you hear someone saying a speech and you're thinking, why have they said things in a certain way? I don't really kind of get that. you can come onto this. It's gemantrix.org, and you can literally just take out a phrase or some keywords and have a play and see what comes up. Just a bit of fun. Okay, so where do we want to go now? Should we talk about non-physical communication? So still kind of that extension. So that's a tool for you to, in a sense, start to decode messages. Let's talk about non-physical communication. How do you feel that you receive communication through non-physical energy?
Well, for me, I've learned recently that sometimes the cues that the universe, the sort of typical cues, you know, the universe gives, like coincidences and numbers, aren't always meant for me, that I have to trust myself. So the last few times that it's happened, where I thought, oh yeah, that's the universe, but it's almost like the negative entities that are around, the dark energies, they're all kind of here to mess you around. So you have to really trust yourself and go within. So when something doesn't feel right now, it kind of makes me go, this is like what the universe is showing me, but I feel completely different. So I started navigating myself through that way, instead of the cues, which is what I would have done like maybe a year ago. It's now shifting into that. It's a different way of communicating with myself, which I've had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, I have to agree with Deniz there. I guess for me too, it's the more older I get, or the more I it's not about understanding anything. It's just about that feeling. And yeah, I think, you know, on a whole, we have to think about ourselves. How do we communicate? You know, I mean, body language is massive anyway. Silence is massive, but it's what I think you have to dabble with what you feel is strong for you, and follow that lead without, like Deniz says, trusting, and trust is big, and following that. But it's always, now for me, it's kind of a feeling thing rather than words or anything else. And body language is, you know, sometimes we know how powerful body language is. And then there's that remembering of the flow of water, that we are water. You know, if we're 70-80% water.
Suzie, I love what you just said. Again, it's I don't know if you and Deniz are just like, right, we're going to save these things, because then that's going to give Vanessa an opportunity to let our viewers know what we're doing in our group. We are coming up to Mindfulness Week in our Beauty of Focus self-care. So this week within the group, I'm not saying that there should be silence, but we want to be posting and sharing meditations that we've come across, like what Suzie said, that anything that's going to help us to be in the now, really appreciate where we are in that environment around us. Which water, I love the sound of water and rain. I've found that very soothing over the last year. So thank you for that, Suzie. I'm looking forward to Mindfulness Week. I really am. Okay, well, for myself, as you know, because I had my breakthrough on this call on a divine Cuppa, it's been connecting back with the angelic realm, and you know, really tuning into the messages that have been coming through. So that does lead me on to talk to you about the first message that popped up today, which was prosperity, Archangel Ariel. Beautiful card. And the message is, your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. So obviously 2 weeks ago, we did speak on this channel about the Lionsgate portal, and how that was a fantastic opportunity for manifestation. So for any of our viewers, and including ourselves here, if you know this was part of our alignment and our energy, then Archangel is communicating to us that I am pouring a cornucopia of prosperity upon you and your life, and ask you to open your arms to receive. So the prosperity will be in so many different ways. You could have been asking for opportunities, for love, for guidance, for knowledge, so many different ways. So some of the treasures will come in the form of brilliant ideas. Now we know that the Lionsgate portal was a beautiful time for that fertility of ideas and creativity. So it says brilliant ideas, and some will come as opportunities. We'll work together to realize your highest dreams, and I ask that you give any worries to me. God and I love you very much and are happy to help you in this way. We know that you'll pass along the goodness to others as well. So that's brilliant. Does that card resonate with you at all?
Yeah, no, it does. It really does. Go for it, Suzie.
Yeah, I think from last week, Vanessa, you were saying, you know, how we're having just conversations like this, we come up with so many ideas. And that's the beauty of having these conversations, because you end up with ideas that you probably didn't even think of, and then they've come to light. So, yeah.
For me, the importance of ideas is generating something new. And the reason why this resonates with me is because before I started my, like, I guess, spiritual journey, I was stuck and the ideas were the same, and I couldn't get out of those. I felt like I was coming up with new ideas, but because nothing changed and the energy behind it felt the same, I wasn't creating anything different. I was just creating the same but different. And so when creation happens and it takes you into a different space, energetic space, is so much, gives you so much freedom. It feels like freedom, right? Because you're not energetically stuck. So I think it's really important. It is a gift, because you're being shown a gift of a new direction, and not everyone has that. Everyone's, you know, stuck in their head. So about, oh, I don't know what career I want to do, what I want to create, what, you know. So to have that is brilliant, amazing.
Well, do you know what I love as well? I mean, this is, I think it's a Bible verse, but where it says, you know, where two or more are gathered, I am there. So, you know, it's about, obviously we always have that connection, whether you are aware of it or not, but we do have that connection with source, higher consciousness, whatever word you feel comfortable with. But when you then gather in a setting of speaking with others, then actually that energy, the source energy, the higher consciousness is also there. And I feel, you know, anybody who knows the story of the Vibrate Higher Collective, the four of us have actually not met each other in person. Okay. We have yet. So we will be meeting. In fact, I think we're going to be meeting when Deniz comes back from Turkey, but we've not met each other. But what we have managed to create, okay, let's give thanks for the internet. Let's give thanks for technology. This has been a godsend for us, and the ideas continue to flow. I mean, just that connection. Sometimes we'll have just a simple conversation. Even the Divine Cuppa was really born out of us having what we'd say a planning meeting. And, you know, Suzie said, you know, we should really record these conversations, because there's gems in what we say that could be really beneficial to others. Now, I just want to share the screen again, because I've put, you know, Gematria is going to be part of my life now. So I'm putting the word prophecy, as I just wanted to see. So I'll just show you here. Put the word prophecy in. And on the simple Gematria, we have truth, birth, code ID, heaven made me for God. Okay. God is a prophecy of peace, love, light. God's angel of light. Soul contract. Now remember, this was everything that came up with 161 was the number. So I'm only going for the positive ones here. Oh, we've got the name Vanessa there. Okay, that's a bit weird. No one like you. So yeah, is there anything else that you wanted to say about that? So we're talking about non-physical communication. We can talk about meditation, Deniz, and what comes through in meditation. I think that's really strong.
Well, I mean, I actually shared a video today, and someone was saying that basically meditation is a way to connect to God. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it really resonated with me. It's a way for healing. Obviously, we already know this, right? But for those that don't, and there's quite a lot of people that don't know how to plug in, and I find it difficult. And I guess we all have those challenges of stopping the communication from yourself and opening up the communication from the divine. And that is something where that's the whole point of it, right? Is to transition into that space, is to work through it. And we had a session on Thursday where we had to plug into the universe and connect with our spirit guides. And one of the girls couldn't do it and was like, really, like, her ego didn't like it and was, just upset because of it. And then started doubting what she was doing. And the way I expressed it, when there's been times where I felt like that, where I've not got my answer. And the whole point of this isn't necessarily having everything written down and given it to you, is to surrender, trust, and then the answer comes. And that's the whole point. And that's how you learn, that's how you evolve. And that's how you get the messages, is when you stop trying and allow yourself to receive it. Because it's not going to always come when you want it, because you're going to end up, when you want it, that's when it gets blocked, right? It's when you're least expecting it, that's when the communication occurs. So, which is why, Vanessa, when you're pulling the cards out and things, you're like, because you're not expecting it, right? There's no expectations for anything. And that's how it should be. You put your ego to one side and be open to receiving. And if you receive nothing, you can't have anything invested in it. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, and I think beautifully said, Deniz. That's so true. And because I want to focus back on the now and the here, I hear so many people that are chasing a state when they go into meditation, and that's not the way to do it. They're either searching for happiness, peace, or whatever. Just be okay with what's coming up. I've often had people say, "Oh, I had a great session last week. Can we have the same again this week?" And I have to remind them, you're chasing what happened last week. Every day you get the chance to experience a new experience with when you're sitting still with yourself. It's not about chasing states. And I think that's where people get confused about everything, because everything is new, isn't it? If you focus on the here and now and just allow it just to see what comes up. And like Deniz says again, no expectations, because if you're expecting something, it's got to be free, it's got to be flowing, it's got to be in the here.
I like what you said there, Suzie, about chasing the high, because it has become the meditation is the new high, right? And I mean, if I think about the times where I've experienced some crazy stuff, and now when I close my eyes, it's not really that mental. But if I did more and more, maybe it could be. But I'm okay with the experiences I have, and then I get a random experience, and that's cool. That's okay too. So I know I'm connected and whatnot. So just going with the flow a lot more as opposed to setting that expectation and being
Also,
grateful for what you've got.
Yeah, also defining what meditation means to you, because for a lot of people, you can be in that state when you're walking in nature. You can be in that state when you're painting. You can be in that state, and that's when it just flows through, because there's no focus on wanting to get a message or wanting to know where you are. Because when you're flowing and creating, it does tend to just flow if you allow it to flow. But a lot of people get confused with it. They have these expectations, they can't sit with themselves. A lot of stuff comes up to leave your body, but nobody wants to look at it that way. Then they just give up and just think that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, totally.
Well, Abraham Hicks, channeled through Esther Hicks, it's always reminding us, just do your 15 to 20 minutes of meditation a day. If that's all you could do. I mean, that was the same for me one day this week, because I've had two, I'm going to say, breakthrough meditation sessions this week. So one was Monday with Deniz doing the sacral chakra, was it sacral chakra? And then I had another session, which was theta healing on Wednesday, which was just, it was just, whew. Anyway, but I didn't have a chance to journal, but I remembered if all I can do is meditate, I was like, right, I'm going up, I'm meditating. I haven't got time to journal this morning, but the meditation is something I'm going to focus on. So I want to bring in Archangel Jeremiah here, which the card was overcoming difficulties. And again, I feel that our conversation has just brought us lovely into this card, because for a lot of them, I mean, I have a few clients at the moment who they do seem to be stuck with different issues that are coming up in their life. And I am encouraging people to meditate now. For my clients, they're not necessarily used to meditating. So I'm saying just start really gently. Just do 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of silence. I'm sure everybody's, even those of us that have little ones and it's like, most of the day is noisy and messy and whatever, we can find 5 minutes in our day. And so for anyone who needs to hear this card, overcoming difficulties, the worst is now behind you and you're surmounting any previous challenges. The challenges you faced have made you stronger and have taught you new lessons. Instead of becoming bitter, you've opened your heart with compassion toward people in similar situations. You've let go of any blame or feelings of victimhood. This is why you're now overcoming your previous challenges. Your positive outlook is attracting a new loving situation and new situations at a higher level of spiritual understanding. Stay positive. So I do feel that, the two cards there are connecting with each other in terms of you will have more opportunities coming into your life if you can just start to let go. Because I mean, I don't know if our emotional fitness women want to kind of talk about that sense of when people put themselves as the victim. How does that hold us back?
Well, I really like the cards, like the angel cards that you're using, because a lot of the angels that you mention, I'm not familiar with. I've heard of them, but I do not dabble with them. But can you say that again? Because I feel like I missed what I was going to say.
I was just asking, because Archangel Jeremiah, and Jeremiah's name means mercy of God, so call upon him. Okay, so I was just asking you and Suzie for advice for any clients that we're coming across who feel that they're stuck, and it's really they're stuck in playing the victim. What message would you have for them, please?
All right. Yeah, sorry. That late night, I'm just like, nothing's going on. I'm so tired. So yeah, I mean, stuck. This is something I'm the expert of getting unstuck. And I actually started writing another blog on that as well, which is, hang on a second. Hi. So basically making a commitment and taking action if you're stuck, but really looking around as to what choices that you have, and just going with what resonates with you, what feels right for you. And that's what I did, and that changed my life completely.
And I just want to remind people that even if you are in that place of being a victim, you know, give yourself 5 minutes and then just move on to, you know, like the question of what am I feeling and why, and do they feel the same? You know, ask yourself, you know, because you're not going to know this by asking somebody else. Only you know what you're thinking and feeling. And so just be honest with yourself, because we get so trapped in pretending that everything's okay when it's not okay. And you're doing yourself a disservice by being dishonest with yourself. So just ask yourself, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And does it feel, you know, what's happening to me when I think like that? You know, and also give yourself that time out. Put 5 minutes on and allow yourself just to have a blast off and do whatever you have to get it out of your body, and then move forward with what you can.
That's lovely, Susie. And again, you've led me into another another one of my notes here, which was to talk about music. Because I mean, I know not everybody connects with music on, like, what I'd say, a deep level, but I feel that music can really help with communication. Sometimes in my own experience, I haven't had the words to express how I'm feeling, but I know that somebody's been able to express that in a song or lyrics that they've put down, or even just, for example, instrumental music. There might be a sound that you're like, I can't express this in words, but the sound is really what I connect with, because that's what's communicating. Hi, that's what's communicating with me. So I put music down because we've had Music Week in the group, and we don't normally record the chats, the Friday evening chats or the Sunday chats, but with the permission of the women that were on the call, I said, is it okay to record this? And they said yes. And, you know, I listened back to it because we had our conversation around the music that had been shared throughout the week. I don't know. Check it out yourself. You know, so anyone who's listening, if you're not in our group, the link for the Telegram group will be posted. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed communicating, because remember, our chat was done on the Telegram function, so we couldn't see each other visually, but we were connecting with each other's voices, each other's stories. And then we had the music coming in between, which again, I feel that the music really complemented the stories that were being shared that evening. So music is a wonderful way of either receiving communication, or if you are gifted to either sing or play music, it's a good way of sharing communication with others. Don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, music is uplifting. I mean, music isn't something I go to a lot, only sometimes, but I do listen to a lot of the healing frequencies. So yeah, it's weird. I always find that my my lack of fascination with music is odd in comparison to everyone else who seems to really be into music. I do enjoy music, but yeah, it's not something I seek out. I seek out silence more than music. Yeah, that's just me. But I will listen to it. I'm bummed I missed Fridays, but I was on a call. So.
Well, it's been recorded. It's like, it sounds like a radio. It sounds like a radio program.
Does it? Definitely was. Brilliant. Were you there, Susie?
No, not Friday, no.
Oh, you weren't there either. Okay.
What does music do for you though, Susie, in terms of communication? Oh, communicating with the
I think
soul.
it's brilliant. I just think it's fantastic. I think any kind of music, whether it's, I mean, I know years ago I could listen to an album and just shed whatever needed to come up. So, you know, but it's amazing that sometimes even music has a story or something to say, or, you know, but then again, I do like piano. I like all sorts of music, to be fair. You know, a bit of reggae, it's always sunshine, a bit of whatever comforts you at the time. And I think it's very good. I think it's really nice to have anything in the background. It's very soothing for the mind.
And the soul as well. I mean, after we
Oh,
had
yeah.
the inner child work, the inner child session, and then you sent me the track from George Michael, because and you can hear it in his lyrics where you said this was his way of reconnecting with his inner child, and he wrote a song about it. And I definitely resonated, because obviously I was going through my healing after the session, reconnecting with my inner child, and that song for me was a lovely way of kind of ending the session, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that was lovely. That was lovely. Okay, so we've touched on a few things today. I've got one more card to share. We didn't. Oh my gosh, he's in the cupboard again. He's going for the sea salt. No, I'm gonna have to save the salt. So can you just carry on for a second?
You need to rejig your cupboards. Yeah, what were we talking about?
Talking about music and
music.
Yeah, well, when I did that session with her and I sent her a song of George Michael and I told her that would help, and she's just saying how it did help her. So it's just, but no two people are the same. I know it helps me, so we tend to pass on things, but not everybody has to use that music. It's one of those things, isn't it?
Well, I there's a random song that I was watching something on Netflix, and the tune they played was something I really loved, and so sometimes when I feel like it, I'll play it and I'll just put it on repeat, and it's Yazoo, the one. She's the one.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I love it. And I love Justin Bieber. Like, so these things I don't say out loud for obvious reasons, but I'm a believer. So, you know, I just keep my musical things to myself.
Well, it's whatever connects with you. You know, we're not going to connect with everything. Yeah, sorry, I didn't get a chance to respond to you. I do actually have those cupboard clips. I've been thinking about it. I keep saying on the show about us entering the cupboard, and we had the cupboard clips, and they were on this cupboard here. And do you know what he did? He pulled them off. So
yeah, they're not good.
I didn't bother putting
Why
them
have you
on.
got your salt in the bottom drawers? Do you not have the salt at the top?
It's 3 drawers. So the first drawer is like cutlery. The second drawer is where I put my spices, and then the third drawer is whatever. But you're right, you know, this kitchen was configured before Zenta, so I think I need now Zenta's here, let's start moving things around. I'm off this week, so who knows what's gonna happen. Okay, so we never did our fact or fear. We never had a conversation about it off screen, so we'll probably leave that this week. And there are a few things coming out, so maybe next week we'll probably focus a bit more on fact or fear.
I might speak to my auntie about what came up in the horoscope about the World War, and see what she says.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, as I said to you off screen, no Zenta. Oh my gosh, 1 minute. It's getting.
That's fascinating about the war, because I've heard that too, Deniz.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. I
was like, why have I not heard it before? Why, like, I don't like try and get into future insights, even though I've got a good skill of seeing. I just know that my ego gets in the way.
But I think there's definitely something going on where there's some kind of distraction. There's something being pulled away, and I don't know whether it's everything. Because I mean, somebody said, "Have you seen that Photoshop of aeroplane and people clean off?" But you can tell it's from years ago, so it makes you question.
Oh, is it from years ago?
Yeah, and like you said, you tend to not, I don't follow everything or whatever, because how do we know? How do we know?
Yeah. So, I mean,
Um,
my friend shared that with me, and I said to her, like, I was like, I'm not being funny or anything, but every day, like 7 people fall out of a plane in like when they in Heathrow, like either goes through someone's house or in the like they find someone frozen in the end. Like there's people like unfortunately like escaping countries, and that's what they do. So that isn't a unique situation. That's what I said to her. I was like, I'm not trying to be harsh or anything. I was like, and what you feel sorry for them now, they've been like persecuted for the last 20 years for fake wars and all that. So I was like, wow, I don't understand where the sympathy
yeah,
is coming from.
Yeah.
And then I saw like a news article on Facebook, and it was like Telegraph or one of those ones, and a soldier passing a baby to his father, right? And everyone's like, oh my God, like, where's the mother? I'm so heartbroken. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but like when Biden went into power and then took down that wall, they were chucking like from the Mexican border into America, like 2-year-olds to go and fend for themselves. A soldier passing that baby to its dad is not a sad state. Yes, you think, what the hell's happened? But a child fending for itself is more sad, right? And you know, these children were put in these camps. Like 9,000 people were like misplaced, and children were being like abused and blah blah blah. And I was just like, well, hang on, this was like nobody was talking about this like a few months ago, and now people are talking about this, and it's the same pictures over and over again. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, something doesn't seem right, but I don't know, you know.
Oh,
But
well, I missed what you're talking about. But you're talking about Afghanistan now, are you?
Yeah, well, we're just saying, like, for fact or fiction, maybe find out a bit more about what is.
Yeah, there's lots of things coming through. So yeah, I've got some juicy I'm not necessarily saying they're facts, but theories that people are putting out there, Susie. So I'll bring them to the table next week. Okay, so just to end then, just wanted to bring in the last card, which was Archangel Jeremiah, which is beloved, and this card keeps coming through. It really does. It's about the 3rd or 4th card at time that the card's coming through. So love is in. No, go back, Vanessa. Sorry. I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. Love is in and around you right now. You don't need to search for it. Rather, by holding loving thoughts and conducting loving actions, you attract and manifest love in all aspects of your life. Call on me to guide your thoughts and actions to bring romance into your life. Converse with me regularly about your love life. I help you fall in love with your life and heal and manifest wonderful relationships. So yeah, it's this love energy, because Archangel Jeremiah's aura is pale green, springtime leaf in the morning sunlight, and you feel close to Jeremiah's loving energy by wearing or carrying a green fluorite crystal. I've got green earrings in today. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that card has touched you at all.
again, I always say it starts with you. It's not about a relationship with anybody else. I think that's why it keeps coming up. We need to remind ourselves that it starts with us, and the more you do for you, the more it's going to emit out there, you know, out into the world. So that's what I believe.
And sorry, Deniz, before Deniz comes in, I agree with you, Susie, because again, on our plan for the Beauty of Focus Self-Care, we've got Pamper and Rest Week coming up, which I believe that's going to be next week. But you know, it was so weird. Sorry, this is Enter going for it now. It's got the scales. This was so weird because what I felt that I needed yesterday was pampering myself and rest. So it's almost as though what we are planning to encourage for others is now helping me to think about, well, what do you need right now? And that's exactly what I needed. And to be honest, I did nothing yesterday. Well, I did some Gematria. The most I did, obviously cared for Xanta, but most I did was have a bath and did the dinner. And you know me, that's not really me. But to be fair, Deniz, you said that for me in one of the voice
A couple
messages.
of weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a couple of weeks ago or was it last?
I think it was last week. You said something about one of my blocks it's something about just resting, not taking that time to just rest. And I just went with my flow yesterday. And I actually had a date planned with another mom. Well, in fact, Ria, who you've heard me mentioned on the call, we're actually going to take the children somewhere. And I actually cancelled it. It was weird. I cancelled it on the Friday night because it was almost as though my vibration was like, that's not what you need tomorrow. Because I was going to have my granddaughters, the little one. And I politely said to Ria, I was like, do you know what? I'm feeling like I just need to chill tomorrow. And I did. And it was lovely.
That sounds really good. I actually started writing today and on my Instagram about with that meditation thing. It's all about obviously your own journey and being okay, well, letting go of the fear first of all, right? So when you let go of the fear, you're not trying to do anything, and so one of the things I said was like, I'm not scared of dying, right?
Please, I want to.
But the main focus is well, actually, Daddy, I'm busy. And it's just to focus on yourself, focus on yourself first, all the time. Don't just, it's always been the external, right? And that self-love, it's so important. Mom, like, if you can't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? How can you, you could. If you half love yourself, you half love everyone else. And it shows. And you know what? I can tell when people have problems with their heart when they can't even express like just simple like kiss, kiss, kiss in the end of a text, because it obviously makes them feel uncomfortable, right? They're not able to open up, and just something simple like that, it just is really telltale signs.
Oh, I thought Suzie was going to come in. I'll just jump in on that. Do you find, because obviously we're talking about communication today, do you find, now this is obviously an energetic thing, but for some people on a text, it may be the first time you're texting them, but you can send that heart or you can put those kisses and it's going to be warmly received. But with others, there's something within you. Well, I don't know if it just happens to me where I'm like, I feel a little bit like cautious, like I want to put a love heart or a thing, but I don't know how this is going to be received.
Yeah, no, I do. And then when I start doing it and I get nothing back, I know that they're uncomfortable with it. So then I just stop doing it. So you can totally tell the vibe of someone just from what they're not saying. I mean, and this goes back to the unspoken communication, right?
So that's when we need to pour that love down.
But you also have to be, you also have to be careful of why we do what we do. Because it's all right sending those hearts and kisses, but your message is already full of love, full of kindness, full of everything that it needs. We don't really need that. We have this assumption. Again, it's assumptions. It's how people perceive things. So I get that. I mean, I have to be very wary, especially when I'm online sometimes, because I've just had some weird stuff in my inboxes, so I don't tend to do a lot of that. Only with people that I know. Do you know what I mean? I think we have to be mindful for ourselves. We have to be, it's all right to promote it all, because life is about love and just giving that kindness, and but just be mindful.
Fantastic. Sorry, my mic wasn't on. Well, do you know what? It's been a wonderful conversation. We chose communication today. We've spoken about emotions within that conversation, but I just felt that we needed to kind of explore the different methods of communication. And coming up, I know I keep going on about this, beauty and focused self-care, but we are going to be talking about the language of the soul as well. So that is going to be in week 8. I'm looking forward to that because that's not something that I'm really that familiar with, but I keep seeing it popping up in different Telegram groups now. So that would be the law of attraction in action for me, because it's something that I'm wanting to learn about. The messages are coming through. So there's all different ways of communicating. So for those of you who've listened to today's session, we hope that our message has resonated with you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and also please share this message with one other person in your life. What we're doing is we're helping women to feel empowered through our education so that you can start creating your own world. So please share this message. Is there anything that you'd like to leave on this recording today, sisters?
I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, I'm really tired, so maybe my communication hasn't been 100%, but yeah, just be open and not reactive to anything that you're receiving right now, and take your time with decisions. Make sure you get let go so that you can have emotional clarity, and so that you can use a bit more logic as opposed to emotion, right? We talk about emotions a lot, but doesn't mean we want you to decide from an emotional state. So always clear your energetic space before you make any sort of decisions, because yeah, you don't want to be making well, I mean, if you make a mistake, you learn from it, right? But just take your time. There's no rush.
Yeah, and always be here now, be present with whatever's coming up, and laugh. Just learn to smile and laugh a lot more. Even when you smile with another person or smile to yourself, it's loving, it's kind, it's, and think of those loving, kind thoughts that you can have, not only for you, but for others, because it does make a huge difference on how you feel.
Yeah, agreed.
Fantastic. I just got a little whisper to remind ourselves and our viewers about our dreams and how our dreams are communicating with us as well. I did write one of my dreams down last week because it was so strong. I haven't done the Gematria. No, I did do the Gematria on that actually, and it was quite interesting. So also pay attention to your dreams. So that's it from
That's true,
us.
Vanessa. That's one way. We didn't talk about communicating.
We didn't. I just got that little whisper. It was like, what about dreams?
Yeah, so important that what happens in your outside life, and sometimes you could be really stuck in a funk, but your dream might be trying to tell you something. So brilliant. Sorry about it. We totally forgot about that, but dreams, so important.
Well, again, we can always do a deep dive on some of these conversations, get maybe someone who really specializes in dream analysis or whatever to come on and help to guide that conversation with us. So that will be it for today. So thank you to my sisters for your contribution and sharing your thoughts on this conversation of communication. I feel that with the Gematria tool that we've got, I feel that Gematria will be coming back into the call. So we'll be looking at how God is communicating with us as we continue with our divine Cuppas. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.